How many of us want to feel safe? Everybody here, yes? Next. Everybody here, yes? Okay, so the next 18 minutes together, what are we going to look at? When we say safe spaces, what does mental health tell us about safe spaces? Is our brain wired in a way to keep us safe? How do we help each other create safe spaces? And then we're all going to make a promise for ourselves and for everybody here. We start? Next. Yes. So what does safe space mean for our mental health? So safe space basically, in very, very simple, is wherein you can be what you are without putting a lot of effort. When I say that, you don't have to constantly fear, okay, this person is judging me. Oh, I have to kind of be very careful of what I'm talking at this point of time. You have your version of yourselves without any screening of what you are. You are in a support system where you feel safe. You are among a group of people who understand you, reflect back to you for what you think and feel, and you feel safe. And most importantly, the understanding that what means safe to me might not be what it is safe for another person. So every person's safety version is different. Next. Okay. The next important question is, and probably the most important question, I thought let's stick to biology because all of you here are science students. So when I tell you the science behind safety, that kind of registers better for all of us. I should admit the fact here that our brain is actually designed to keep us safe. Okay? So according to the theory, there are three levels, or we compare it to the three lights. Okay? So the brain has three levels. The green one, which basically means the safe level. Okay? So when you are in levels of safety, that means it's a very comfortable space where you're functioning very actively. Whatever you're reading or whatever you're doing it with a lot of pressure. All of your vitals, your heartbeat, your way you're responding, concentration, all of your vitals, you can see everything, hear everything accurately. So that is your safe space. You're receiving things at your best. The next one is the yellow phase, or the yellow brain, or the yellow part of it, or the yellow part of your brain is slightly dangerous. Okay, so there what happens is, see, suddenly there's something coming up. Okay, I should pause at this minute and tell you that I would not be bringing up any examples during the discussion because I wouldn't want to trigger anybody with any examples, and I want to ensure that all of us are safe through the discussion. Okay, so the yellow part of the brain, which is actually dangerous. So then what happens is, when that happens, slightly your body is giving you a signal that something is going wrong. So you start building resources to whatever is going wrong. So your heart starts pacing, you start sweating, you have, what else happens? Dilation of pupils. So all of these reactions wherein your brain is actually telling you there's unsafe. Then there is the third part. This is the most dangerous space. That is the red part of your brain. So what happens? See, generally we speak about what? A stressed phase and a de-stressed phase. Okay, but there is a third space. Theory is beautifully explained that there is a red part of the brain. Now here what happens is, beyond the scare, fear is so bad that you actually freeze. And when you freeze, you completely slow down and there's nothing at all you are able to do. So what I'm basically trying to tell you is that if you look at how the whole brain system works, okay, now there is no competition that yellow comes first or green comes first, or it's always green first, then yellow, and then the red, no. Okay, but you'll also have to understand that the nervous system settles on its state in reverse evolutionary order. For example, only higher mammals like human beings are able to think and decide. Now I meet sir here. I am able to think and decide, do I want to engage in a conversation with him? Should I actually talk? If yes, what should I talk? I am able to do it. Okay. The second, that is slightly earlier, the previous set of mammals, not the higher mammals like us, the previous set, they will go to a fight or flight response. Okay. The dog sees a human being, run. There's fight or flight response. The red part, that is the reptilian thing. If you see reptiles, when there is stress, they freeze. They don't do anything beyond that. So it's basically in reverse evolutionary order. Okay. So what basically I'm trying to tell you is that we actually navigate between these states, and I want to explain to you how the navigation happens. And generally what happens is we bounce between the green and the yellow, but there are times that we can actually go to red. So this whole process is actually called neuroception, and it happens quite automatically. See, imagine now there is a snake here. Okay, do you take time to respond, or all of us will immediately run? We all will immediately run. Do we have the time enough to think and say, oh, this is a snake, it may bite, may not bite, let me go check which snake is this, is this poisonous? Do we so much of it? We run, isn't it? We run. Okay, so what I'm actually trying to tell you is that it's a very automatic response. Our brain is prepared that way, and our brain automatically responds that way. But what if this whole system is wrong? That is, whatever is not dangerous also, if our brain is perceiving it as dangerous. How does that feel? Next slide. Okay. So what basically happens is, when neuroception goes wrong, when I say when neuroception goes wrong, that is when your brain is actually perceiving safe things as danger. I'll tell you how it happens. When your brain is actually perceiving safe things as danger, that is when we go through a lot of distress. So what happens is, there's actually a false alarm. So you are actually, there's a fire signal even if there's no smoke or ash. So it is a false alarm. It is very debilitating basically because you're getting scared, and the minute you're getting scared or minute you are perceiving danger, you're not able to do anything else. And what is the whole purpose is that you have to bring regulation. You need to calm down, because without calming down or regulating yourselves, you are not able to function better. So this is basically the science behind how it happens in the brain, that our brain is wired for safety. All of us have red, yellow and green zones, and we keep shifting. So why this concept of safety becomes very, very important? Why should we actually discuss this? See, we all have the capacities to understand and create a sense of safety for ourselves as well as a sense of safety for others. And we all respond in a way our autonomic nervous system is telling us. So autonomic nervous system gives us a signal. It doesn't wait for us. The minute you see a threat, you immediately respond to the threat. It actually happens. Okay, so we can actually help creating safety for ourselves and others by actually rewiring the autonomic nervous system. This is basically a research finding. This research was done 20 years ago by Kaiser and CDC. They studied around 17,000 patients, and while studying 17,000 patients, they closely understood a relationship or found an association between adverse childhood experiences and long-term wellness. Okay, so they basically found that 2/3 of the people had one adverse childhood experiences. Adverse childhood experiences are any bad childhood experiences that we can have. 20% of them had 3 or more adverse childhood experiences. 4 or more had ACEs, and if people had 4 or more adverse childhood experiences, they are more prone to cancer, heart disease and other conditions. And 6 or more ACEs, their life expectancy reduces by around 60%, 20%. So what is the understanding? Why I actually told you this research is basically for you to understand that how our brain perceives threat or perceives danger, or how our autonomic nervous system is regulated, or how our brain is giving us wrong information, is basically based on the wrong connections that our autonomic nervous system builds as we grow up. Okay, let me give you a simple way to understand this. See, in childhood, a certain experiences is supposed to be very, very safe for us. Any kind of an experience, it is believed to be a safe experience. Unfortunately, it doesn't become a safe experience. So then what happens? A wrong association happens that this is an unsafe experience. So as we grow up, anything that goes very similar to that experience still seems unsafe for us, because that's the kind of wiring that has happened in our autonomic nervous system when we were very young. We get this? Okay. So what's basically happening is a lot of wrong autonomic nervous connections happen. So many a times we as human beings are confused between what is safe and what is unsafe. So the basic idea is to regulate our autonomic nervous system. Okay, so what we are basically trying to do is to repair these connections that have happened way back. And if you ask me, is it possible? It's really possible. Okay, and how does this happen? One, with the help of others, co-regulation. Let me give you a very simple example of a co-regulation. In a herd of animals, if one animal signals danger, what does the other animals do? All of them run. So similarly, we all can influence each other and create safe spaces for all of us. Retraining the autonomic nervous system is very much possible, and one of the most important thing that we have to have or understand to retrain our autonomic nervous system is to be in the presence of people whom we feel are safe for us. Okay? How do we get there? What are some simple strategies that help us in regulating the autonomic nervous system? Before telling this, I would also want to tell you that there will be a few among us who have had adverse childhood experiences and who are struggling to do everyday tasks. For these people, these strategies might not help. You might have to see a professional, but some things that we can work on an everyday basis to keep ourselves more regulated, to make ourselves feel much more safer are the following. The first one is breathing. Breathing actually helps because see, the autonomic nervous system is very, very automatic, and most of our important organs are connected to the autonomic nervous system, and one nerve which connects most of these organs are the vagus nerves. So in the whole process, breathing is the only thing on which we have control. Yes, so it is through breathing what happens is the vagus system, the signal, you actually calm down, then a signal goes from the vagus nerves in the brain throughout the body. So actually breathing helps. The second one is mild frequency music, because when it's mild frequency, it is received well by the autonomic nervous system. There's no danger perception that happens. Speaking with a smile. Okay, a smile speaks, it helps you, if somebody comes here, now imagine if coming here talking to you with a smile, makes you feel safe and comfortable, and that definitely makes a big difference on you, how you respond during the situation and how I respond to all of you. Stop being harsh on yourselves as well as on others. Many of us are very, very harsh on ourselves when we don't do well or when things don't work for us. It doesn't happen on purpose. Let me tell you, it's happening because of some kind of an autonomic nervous error that has happened because of our earlier experiences. So understand that. Do not be harsh on yourselves. Do not be harsh on another person also, because we unfortunately do not know why that other person is behaving that way. And many a times, the way that other person is behaving is nothing about you. It is more about them and their experiences. Spend time with people whom you love, people whom you like, and people who make you feel very, very safe, because then there is more perception of safety, and that definitely helps in regulation of your autonomic nervous system. When you see people are troubled, when you see there is dysregulation in another person, pause. It is something about them. It is something about what they have gone through. It is nothing about you. So pause, help them regulate if possible. Try and identify some environments which feel safe. All of us have some comfort zones in life. Yes, it could be a particular corner in your house. It could be a particular place in this campus here. When you're very stressed, you want to go sit there. Identify those places. Those are the places where regulation of your ANS happens. And let's stop labeling people. None of us want to be labeled, because all of us unfortunately tend to carry these labels. Anything that a particular person shows at one particular point of time, it's a particular behavior. It's not about that person, it is just responding. So if we put them in a packet saying this is what that person is, it has a impact on both the person as well as you. It's not about, so when I say what is ideal mental health or what is it to be safe all the time, it is not about being super calm, relaxed every time. Impossible. Okay, it's not going to happen. So what is it? Is to be more flexible and to be have a more resilient nervous system. When I say it's not about you being resilient, it is training your brain and body to be more resilient. Try and understand how is it that your brain and body is responding to different situations. What is triggering you, what is not triggering you, and work accordingly. And very, very importantly, creating safety in our community becomes very, very important, because we have a million community problems like poverty, unemployment, all of this which are grounded in adverse childhood experiences, and that can have an impact on the safety of a lot of people around us. And so if we kind of work towards these community problems, ensuring safety of each other, we can definitely ensure a safe community. So when we help ourselves heal and when we help another person heal, together we are building a more safer and a more connected world that is psychologically safe for all of us. I would like to remind all of you that feeling safe is very, very important to live a healthy, happy and a longer life. And it's very important for us to understand that it is more physiological than psychological. A lot of times we believe that something is wrong with me, something is happening because I am like that. No, it has happened to you like that. You are like that because something that has happened to you much ahead. So it's more physiological than psychological. Thank you so much. Let's start taking small steps to ensure our safety and safety of everyone around us. Thank you.